Hey everybody, this is Perch. Let's get right to this mail. It says, fuck Bendis and thoughts on Luke Cage's new Ultimate book. Look, not book. Yeah, he was in the Deniz camp. I shouldn't keep, I should keep going with that. Anyway, it says, Dear Perch, fuck Bendis and all his little suck ups. All right. Just watched a video about Luke Cage and came to that conclusion. I'm so sick of Bendis getting the credit for pushing these characters when they have decade-long history of support from comic readers. If he changed anything for Luke, then he wouldn't still be a cameo character that can't even beat a miniseries. He was more popular and had a longer running success under his creators than that of his creators than that of Bendis. Shit, man, the ad spot Sienkiewicz did for him deserves more praise for bringing in readers than Bendis. Can you tell me why he gets so much hype? Because I read his stuff after the fact, and it is very boilerplate CW levels of tween drama with bad endings almost every time. And any thoughts on his new Ultimate Universe counterpart? And then he includes some cool art here from a cartoonist kayfabe illustrated project. That's cool. That looks really good, by the way. This is some really nice stuff. I like the I don't know. It's simultaneous gritty and emotive. It's cool looking. You did a good job with that. Um. Okay. So short answer, and I'll use this to kind of talk about a different topic. I was talking about this with a friend over the weekend. That one of the annoying parts of comics, and this may be generational, but definitely for the two of us, it hits us. We're not the same age, but I think same sensibilities. Um, it is a turnoff to me when a creator or creators decide to hype up, like overhype something, and we've seen it through the years with Mags, we've seen it with Vita, we've seen it with the various Stephanies, we've seen it with Lansing and Kelly, we've seen it with Matt Fraction. Like as through the years, you get these creators that show up, and the other creators are like, "Oh my God, this is the most important work in the history of all of comics. It's got everything. It's got midgets and it has wrestling. It has everything. This is the pinnacle of all of comics." I almost went into a Stefan voice there and then thought better of it. Um, it and right now the darling is Dennis Camp, and you see like he's doing the Martian Manhunter book, he's doing the Ultimates, and people are just like, "Oh my God, I cannot believe this is a comic. It's such a good comic. Holy shit, what a good comic!" And it is it's exhausting is the easiest way to put it. The problem is that hype, and by the way, the people saying this are not fans; it's other creators, right? I'm looking. So here's a tweet by Gail Simone, and she writes, "So I got an advanced copy of Absolute Martian Manhunter written by Dennis Camp, art by Javier Coster. So masterful, it makes me want to puke. Best comic of the year? Probably best comic of the year. Today is final order cutoff, and you better order one, is my prediction." Okay, I have another prediction. Martian Manhunter is not going to sell like it's the best comic of the year. It may be a good comic. I hope it is, but it's the art style and the writing and the character and all of those things means it's not going to come close to touching things like Hush 2 or the latest issue of the Avengers. It's just not. Okay, the Absolute Universe has sold copies, but it isn't selling so many copies that auxiliary or the B characters. And keep in mind, Martian Manhunter, I love me some Martian Manhunter. I love him some Obsession with Oreos. It's all good. But the pecking order of the DC Universe would go Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, Green Lantern, or Flash, and then Martian Manhunter. And so maybe this is going to be lightning in a bottle, and for whatever reason, you're going to tell an absolutely incredible story, and it's going to transform everything to make the Martian Manhunter the next Deadpool of massive, massive popularity. But I doubt it. Okay? I mean, sounds great, but unlikely. So why is Gail Simone in this case, and so many others, David Aja, I've seen a variety of editors all talking about Dennis Camp like he is Jesus. He is comic Jesus. The for me, it turns me off of the title. And to tie it back together with the mail, I promise I haven't just gone off the rails. This was how they talked about Bendis for a law for a long time. He could do no wrong. Well, the reality though is he did do some wrong because the books didn't really land in a lot of cases, and he got on Superman and it was a stinker. And there's a big difference between writing the Avengers during a time when the MCU is exploding and the Avengers are getting onto the big screen for the first time and everything is super, super ultra popular and he's been given the best artists in all of Marvel. And then, you move over to DC and you start writing kind of pet projects with, I was going to say, was it Naomi and Superman, and you're writing a Justice League or sorry, a Legion of Superheroes that nobody liked. And anyway, there's just a big shift there in the two. But why do creators fawn all over other creators to a sickening degree where A, it does not feel genuine, B, it does not get any kind of real excitement or interest for the comic. It's not like a Gail Simone hyping up, are retailers or customers like suddenly rushing to like, holy shit, I had zero interest in Martian Manhunter. I didn't even know who that character was. But Gail Simone, it says it's the best comic of the year. Is it the best comic of the year? Probably it's the best comic of the year. When she wrote that, I knew immediately I need to go buy 10 copies. Is anyone doing? Nope, nobody is doing that. That's not happening. So why do creators do this? Why do they go to over the top shill hype mode when it doesn't feel real? And by the way, I've had no conversations with anyone around Dennis Camp, who's the latest beneficiary of this. But in years past, when it was say Vita, or it was Kelly and Lansing is a great example. The same creators who are like, are these two the best comic writers in the history of all comics? I think they are. And then you'd go talk to the same guy at a con, and he's like, Colin Kansas, Kelly and Lansing are absolute trash. I fuck those guys. Like, what? Okay, so what happened? Are the publishers paying you guys to say this on social media? Like, how is this guy? How is this going on? And when the comics come out and they don't sell well and they don't do well, then hyping them up like this creator is the most amazing thing in the history of all comics, it doesn't make you credible. It doesn't help the sales of that comic. It doesn't do anything. It does destroy the credibility that who in the world at this point is going, who's the gold standard of calling the best comic creators around? Well, I don't know, whatever Gail Simone says, that is clearly she's got the pulse on the industry, and you should do whatever she said. I'm not just picking on Gail. It happens very frequently in comics, and it's not authentic. It doesn't feel genuine. It's kind of fair weather friend type stuff where a year from now nobody will be talking about him. I mean, hey, where are all the comic creators talking about how you aren't ready for, old Donny Cates? And I mean, Donny Cates actually put some numbers up on the board, but where are all those people now? Where are the people who are talking about the genius of Cy Spurrier? Where are those people? Like, if you're going to hype something, you should continuously, I mean, you should keep hyping it. You can't just like do it once, or do it for 6 months and then disappear into the nowhere. Like, you need to keep going. I don't know. It bugs me from the standpoint of I don't think it's doing any good. To the comment about Bendis, I know I completely hijacked this video. I can't tell you why Bendis gets all the credit other than he doesn't really. He gets a bunch of credit from other comic creators who I believe are just sucking up, hoping that Bendis could get them, a job somewhere, which was true for, if I can go back in time 6 years, that was true. Bendis was getting a lot of his friends and other people in. And so everybody found that as look, if I just over the top fillet this guy in public, then, pretty soon I'll get my own, comic because Bendis will hook me up. And then Bendis loses favor at DC, and now we've got a new person that everybody's blowing. So I guess, but I mean, is that where we are now, where Dennis Camp is the is the person everybody's trying to suck up to get a job. Because wow, I mean, wow, that's where we're at. Anyway, I think it's a very it's a I agree with you on Luke Cage. I mean, Bendis gets a lot of credit for really doing something with Luke Cage. He gets a lot of credit for trying to hype up Captain Marvel, which he had for a little while, and then quickly they figured out, oh, we better give it to Kelly Thompson and praise her for doing this, and then not Kelly Thompson. Kelly Thompson came later. We praised her after we worked our way through the other one, Mrs. Don't like my politics, don't buy my books. Um, Kelly Sue DeConnick. So we went through Kelly Sue, and then we got to Kelly Thompson. But Bendis had it for a little while. I agree. I don't think his characters really did much of anything. They felt like cheap cop offs of a Joss Whedon script that was never filmed. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, disingenuous. That's what I say. Thanks for listening.